All praise be to my children. I love you. Oh God, man. What? Lennox, I'm coming for you.
Mike, is it frustrating to train like you did and then have this in 7 or 8 seconds?
For this fight, I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Thomas. And a right hand behind it. Thomas in trouble again.
There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat your children. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah.
What if I told you there was a heavyweight champion who was physically impossible to exist? A man who stood at just 5 feet 10 inches in a division dominated by giants over 6 feet 5 inches, yet became the most feared fighter on the planet. From his explosive head movement to his devastating inside combinations, Mike Tyson was undoubtedly one of the most dangerous heavyweights in boxing history, and his early career knockouts are, honestly, some of the most brutal ever captured on film. But how did a kid from the worst neighborhood in America develop this unique fighting style that allowed him to destroy giants nearly a foot taller? And why did he deliberately choose to fight in a way that most trainers said was impossible for a heavyweight?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a fighter.
To find out, we need to go back to 1980. Tryon School for Boys, a juvenile detention center in upstate New York. Inside these walls, a 13-year-old kid with a speech impediment and a lisp is about to meet the man who will change his life forever. But how did Michael Gerard Tyson, a boy from Brownsville, Brooklyn, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America, end up here? Well, by age 11, Mike had already been arrested 38 times. His mother, Lorna, struggling to raise 3 kids alone after his father abandoned them, couldn't control her son. Mike wasn't just stealing, he was surviving. That violence, born from years of humiliation, became young Tyson's language. By 12, he was running with street gangs, robbing people at gunpoint, and heading down a path that should have ended in prison or death. But at Tryon, Counselor Bob Stewart, a former boxer himself, noticed something unusual about the troubled kid. His hands were devastating, but his movement was even more remarkable. Stewart began training Mike in the basics: how to slip punches, how to bob and weave, how to get inside on taller opponents. For the first time in his life, Tyson found something he was good at, something that made sense. The violence that had gotten him locked up could now be channeled into something powerful. After just 6 months of training, Stewart made a decision that would alter boxing history forever. He picked up the phone and called the most respected trainer in the sport, Cus D'Amato. June 1980. A 14-year-old Mike Tyson walks into Cus D'Amato's gym in Catskill, New York. Cus, now 71 years old, had trained Floyd Patterson to become the youngest heavyweight champion in history at age 21. He'd been searching for another champion ever since. The moment he saw Mike hit the heavy bag, Cus knew this was the one. But there was a problem: Mike's height. At just 5 feet 10 inches, he would be giving up 5, 6, sometimes 8 inches to every opponent he'd face as a professional. Most trainers would have told him to fight at light heavyweight or even cruiserweight. But Cus D'Amato didn't see a limitation. He saw an opportunity.
Mike, to look at him, he looks like a fighter. He's big, he's got the physique body. And he's still young, he's only 16 now, he's 210 pounds, well developed.
Height is an illusion, Mike, Cus told him during their first conversation. Your power comes from leverage and speed. We're going to make you so elusive, so explosive, that by the time they realize you're inside, it's already over. Cus became Mike's legal guardian after his mother passed away in 1982. More than a trainer, he became the father Mike never had. And the training was unlike anything in boxing. Every single day, Mike would work on the fundamentals of the peekaboo style, a defensive system Cus had perfected over decades. High guard, hands protecting the face, constant head movement, bobbing and weaving in a rhythm that became almost hypnotic. The goal wasn't to outbox taller fighters from the outside. The goal was to make them miss, close the distance, and unleash hell on the inside.
Your mind is not on your work. Your mind is not on your work. There's something distracting you. Hi, young man.
Showing him old footage of Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, and Henry Armstrong. But it wasn't just physical training. Cus worked on Mike's mind every single night. They'd sit in Cus's living room, and the old trainer would fill the young fighter's head with a singular purpose. You are going to be the youngest heavyweight champion in history, not because of luck, because you're willing to do what others won't.
He did get some boxing just before he entered the Junior Olympic tournament. When he did enter, he had to come out on top in the local tournament up here. That qualified him to go into the regional Junior Olympics, which took place in New York, where he scored all knockouts, and the winning that regional qualified him to go to nationals.
March 6th, 1985. Mike Tyson, now 18 years old, steps into the ring for his professional debut against Hector Mercedes in Albany, New York. The fight lasts exactly 1 minute and 47 seconds. Tyson doesn't just win, he obliterates Mercedes with a first-round TKO, but that was just the beginning. Over the next 12 months, Tyson would fight 15 times, winning every single bout, 11 by knockout. Opponents were terrified. They'd seen the tapes, they'd heard the stories. This wasn't normal. A teenager shouldn't be able to do this to grown men. However, tragedy was about to strike. On November 4th, 1985, Cus D'Amato, the man who had saved Mike from a life of crime and molded him into a weapon, passed away from pneumonia at age 77.
You have the chance to send an email to Cus D'Amato. What would you write in that email to Cus?
Oh shit. How did I do?
Mike was devastated, but Cus had left Mike with two things: a fighting style that would change boxing forever, and a trainer who understood that style perfectly. Kevin Rooney, Cus's longtime assistant. Rooney would ensure that Cus's vision wouldn't die with him, and Mike Tyson, now an orphan for the second time in his life, channeled his grief into something primal. November 22nd, 1986. Mike Tyson, at just 20 years old, faces Trevor Berbick for the WBC Heavyweight Championship at the Las Vegas Hilton. Berbick, standing 6 feet 2 inches, had defeated Muhammad Ali in Ali's final fight. He was experienced, tough, and confident he could handle the young upstart. But from the opening bell, it was clear. This wasn't a boxing match. This was a demolition. Tyson came out in his signature peekaboo stance, hands high, elbows tight, head moving in constant figure eights. Berbick threw jabs trying to establish range, but Mike slipped every single one. Then, in a flash, Tyson exploded forward. A left hook to the body doubled Berbick over. A right uppercut straightened him back up. Then the finishing sequence, a left hook that sent Berbick stumbling across the ring like a drunk man. The referee stopped the fight in the second round. Mike Tyson, at 20 years and 4 months, had become the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, shattering Floyd Patterson's record. "I'm the youngest heavyweight champion ever, and I'm going to be the oldest," Mike declared in the post-fight interview, his voice cold and emotionless. But Tyson wasn't satisfied. He wanted all the belts. He wanted to unify the division. He wanted to be undisputed. March 7th, 1987. Tyson faced James Bone Crusher Smith for the WBA title. Smith, 6 feet 4 inches, was a defensive specialist who thought he could frustrate the young champion by clinching and smothering Tyson's offense. For 12 rounds, Smith held and grabbed, doing everything possible to survive. Tyson won a unanimous decision, but he was furious, and he meant it. May 30th, 1987, Tyson destroyed Pinklon Thomas in 6 rounds. August 1st, 1987, he annihilated Tony Tucker to win the IBF title, becoming the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Leon Spinks. But what made Tyson so terrifying wasn't just his power, it was his system. Let me break it down for you, because this is what made a 5-foot 10-inch fighter untouchable against giants. First, the head movement. Tyson didn't just move his head side to side. He moved in a constant pendulum motion, left shoulder dip, right shoulder dip, bobbing beneath punches while advancing forward. Taller fighters would throw jabs expecting to hit air, and by the time they reset, Tyson was already inside. Second, the slip and counter. Watch any Tyson highlight. He'd slip an opponent's jab to the outside, then immediately fire a left hook to the body, or a right uppercut to the chin. The slip wasn't just defense, it was the setup for devastating offense. Third, controlled aggression. Tyson never rushed in wildly. He cut the ring methodically, forcing opponents into corners where their height advantage disappeared. Once inside, he'd unleash combinations, hooks to the body, uppercuts to the head, each punch thrown with bad intentions. January 22, 1988, Mike Tyson faced former champion Larry Holmes, a legend who had dominated the heavyweight division for 7 years. Holmes, now 38, stood 6 feet 3 inches with an 81-inch reach. Before the fight, he made a critical mistake.
Start musters like this and expect Larry with that left hand down, and he better not leave it down. Mike is showing no respect for Holmes' punching power. Plus, Larry is a guy in his career that one of his fights. Tyson bores in. Here's Tyson attacking again. 38-year-old Larry Holmes cannot continue that round after round. Oh, a big right hand, and down goes the former champion. He was there running the button.
The fight lasted 4 rounds. Tyson walked through Holmes' jab like it didn't exist, landed a brutal right hand in the 4th round that sent Holmes crashing to the canvas 3 times. It was a beating so severe that many thought Holmes might never recover. But the defining moment of Tyson's early career, the fight that proved he wasn't just a champion, but a force of nature, came on June 27, 1988. Atlantic City Convention Hall. Mike Tyson, undefeated at 34-0, defends his undisputed heavyweight title against Michael Spinks, a former light heavyweight champion who had moved up to heavyweight and never lost. Spinks was 31-0. He was smart, skilled, and had defeated Larry Holmes twice. Many considered this Tyson's toughest test. In the weeks leading up to the fight, the tension was electric. Spinks had a confidence that most Tyson opponents lacked. "I've seen things in the ring that would terrify Mike Tyson," Spinks said. "I'm not afraid of him." But when both men stood in the ring for the referee's instructions, something changed. If you watch the footage closely, you can see it in Spinks's eyes. The realization he was looking at something beyond human. Tyson didn't just stare at Spinks, he stared through him. No blinking, no emotion, just predatory focus. The opening bell rang. Tyson exploded out of his corner like he'd been shot from a cannon. Spinks, trying to establish his jab, was immediately under siege. Tyson slipped the first jab, closed the distance, and landed a right hand to the body that made Spinks wince.
Separate the two. Absolutely no fear and no respect by Tyson for any jabs or anything that Mike Spinks can do. Tyson just looking for the opportunity to land a vicious left hook and then a right hand. While Michael Spinks was successful against Larry Holmes, an aging Larry Holmes, and he was
20 seconds into the fight, Tyson landed a left hook-right uppercut combination that sent Spinks stumbling into the ropes. Spinks tried to survive. He clinched. He moved. But Tyson was relentless. At 1 minute and 31 seconds of the first round, Tyson landed a straight right hand that sent Spinks face first to the canvas.
I don't think you get up from this. Mike Spinks is laying flat on his back. The count is up to 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. He won't be
Spinks got up, but his legs were gone. His eyes were glazed. The referee, seeing that Spinks was defenseless, waved off the fight. 91 seconds. That's all it took for Mike Tyson to dismantle an undefeated champion and cement his legacy as the most feared fighter on the planet. I try to catch my opponent on the tip of his nose, Tyson explained in a post-fight interview, his voice calm and analytical, because I want to punch the bone into the brain. The world was stunned. Pay-per-view records were shattered. Tyson wasn't just a champion, he was a cultural phenomenon. His fights became events. His persona, a combination of calculated violence and intellectual intensity, fascinated people who had never watched boxing before. However, behind the scenes, cracks were beginning to form. Tyson had fired Kevin Rooney, the last connection to Cus D'Amato's system, after a dispute over money and control. His new trainers didn't understand the peekaboo style. They didn't understand the discipline it required. And Tyson's personal life was spiraling. His marriage to actress Robin Givens was falling apart publicly. She went on national television and called him scary and manic depressive. Promoter Don King, who had been circling Tyson for years, now had complete control over his career and finances. But even as chaos surrounded him, Tyson continued to destroy opponents. July 21, 1989, he knocked out Carl "The Truth" Williams in 93 seconds. February 11, 1990, he demolished Buster Douglas. Wait, no, that's not what happened. Tokyo, Japan. February 11th, 1990, Mike Tyson, 37-0 with 33 knockouts, faces James "Buster" Douglas, a 42-1 underdog. Douglas's mother had died just 23 days before the fight. Nobody gave him a chance. The fight wasn't even supposed to be competitive, but from the opening bell, something was different. Douglas was boxing. He was using his jab, a weapon Tyson had walked through for years, but this time it was working. Douglas was 6 feet 4 inches with an 83-inch reach, and for the first time in Tyson's career, he couldn't get inside. Tyson, without Kevin Rooney in his corner, had no adjustments. His new team didn't know how to fix the peekaboo style when it wasn't working. They didn't know the subtle shifts Cus had taught, how to change angles, how to time entries differently. In the 8th round, Tyson landed a massive uppercut that dropped Douglas. It looked like the inevitable had happened, but Douglas got up, and he kept boxing.
Get to the second round, almost all first round knockouts, and then you get into the special going tonight. We're past the midway point in round 9, and I expect a tight. Look at that! Look at Buster coming back! Did he buckle the legs to Mike? Landed by James "Buster" Douglas. Not intimidated at all. Now you see what I mean about backing him off? This is the first guy I've seen that's been able to do this, but Buster's been able to gobble him up. See that one just off. Look at this. Buster not intimidated. He wants to keep it going. Mike actually, his legs, notice his legs in these wide shots. And the fact of the matter is, it's Buster that's making it the fight. Look at these shots landed by Buster Douglas. And if Buster was out of gas in the early going of this round, he's going to... I think Mike probably having his best round of the fight to this point. Nice shot inside. And now you get the shot him again. Buster fights back strongly, landing some big shots. And now he can't get killers. Look at this. Who would ever have expected that? His toes not shooting out that left as much. Well, there he goes. As I said, he throws the left and the right behind it. Notice another thing about Buster. Some pretty good hand speed. Big fights. And you see, oh, there's Mike missing that big left and just grazed the chin of Buster Douglas. And Douglas answering with Buster with the movement. Mike continues to stay flat-footed, not showing a lot of boxing skills. We haven't seen any uppercuts from Mike. We haven't seen How dangerous can he be? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. This is the first, second uppercut we've seen by Mike Tyson inside.
Then in the 10th round, Douglas landed a 4-punch combination: jab, jab, right hook, left uppercut. Tyson crumbled to the canvas. He reached for his mouthpiece, trying to put it back in, but the referee counted him out. The unbeatable had been beaten. What happened? How did a 42-1 underdog stop the most feared fighter in the world? The answer is simple but painful. Tyson had abandoned the system that made him great. Without Cus's mental conditioning, he'd lost his focus. Without Kevin Rooney's technical adjustments, he'd lost his adaptability. Without the discipline of the peekaboo style, he'd become just another brawler, and brawlers can be outboxed. After Cus died, I felt like I didn't have a purpose anymore, Tyson would admit years later. But here's what people often forget. Mike Tyson's loss to Buster Douglas doesn't erase what he accomplished from 1985 to 1989. In his prime, trained by Cus D'Amato's system, disciplined by Kevin Rooney's coaching, Tyson proved something that boxing experts said was impossible. A 5'10" heavyweight could dominate giants. Let me tell you why his style was so effective, because this goes beyond just punching power. Tyson's peekaboo system was built on 3 scientific principles. Principle 1, angles of attack. Taller fighters throw punches in straight lines from a high position. Tyson attacked from low angles, uppercuts and hooks coming from beneath their line of sight. By the time they saw the punch, it had already landed. Principle 2, distance management. Most heavyweights operate at long range. Tyson eliminated that range by making opponents miss and immediately closing distance. Once inside, their height became a disadvantage. They couldn't generate power at close range. Principle 3, psychological warfare. Before Tyson even threw a punch, he'd already won mentally. His ring walk, no robe, no socks, just black trunks and bad intentions, sent a message. His stare during referee instructions broke opponents before the bell rang. Fear is a weapon, and Tyson mastered it. From 1985 to 1989, Tyson went 37-0 with 33 knockouts. He became the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He unified all 3 major titles. He averaged just 5.9 rounds per fight, meaning most opponents didn't survive past the 6th round. But more importantly, he changed how we think about physical limitations in combat sports: height, reach, size. Tyson proved these are advantages only if your opponent doesn't know how to neutralize them. Mike Tyson's early career is a masterclass in turning disadvantages into weapons. Every time you watch him slip a jab from a 6'5" opponent and land a counter left hook, you're watching physics, psychology, and pure violence working in perfect harmony. So here's my question for you. Was prime Mike Tyson, the Tyson trained by Cus D'Amato, the greatest heavyweight of all time? Drop your answer in the comments below. Whether you think he could have beaten Ali, Foreman, or Lennox Lewis, I want to hear your case. And speaking of fighters who defied expectations, did you know there was a heavyweight champion who came out of retirement at age 45 and reclaimed the title? George Foreman's comeback is one of the most incredible stories in boxing history. To learn how he did it, click the video on your screen right now. Remember, in the ring, size doesn't matter. System does.